Entertain a motion to come back into open session.
Second.
Motion by Hepburn, seconded by Ms. Leonard. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes.
7:13.
15. The recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days for public record. The color guard agreement.
Hello, Board President, Board members, Superintendent Gaines, and Cabinet. I'd like to introduce you to Captain Wallace. He is our captain and for our Cadet Corps at Roseman High School.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for inviting us. At this time, our color guard will present the colors. If you'd stand, please.
Right, face. Present. Colors.
Captain Wallace, would you raise the flag?
We're going to do the national anthem.
Oh, awesome.
Order. Colors. Left. Face. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. Come left. March.
You can be seated. You want us to you want to-
No, thank you. You want to go to the flag?
No, I didn't know if you want us to do the rest of our presentation or you have something to do.
No, go right ahead.
Okay, all right. We are, again, glad to be here, and I want to introduce our Cadet Battalion Commander, Cadet Captain Kay Quellar, and our Executive Officer, Katie Shodin, outstanding leaders and amazing people to work with. So this is Cadet Captain Kay Quellar.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Gaines and distinguished guests. Thank you all for your amazing support of our cadets. We are very fortunate to be able to do all the training and events we do because of our superintendent, board members, and school staff. I am Cadet Captain Kay Quellar, the 273rd Battalion Commander, 15th Brigade Commander, and State Assistant S4. And we have so much to tell you all, but in this short amount of time, I shall condense it. The CACC is a California National Guard youth program, giving cadets training in many subjects such as leadership, citizenship, military subjects, and wellness. This school year is the first year where we've had the most cadet sergeants promote. We have also had a year in IMAs of 3 years in a row of our cadets placing within the IMAs, of Cadet Sergeant Powell getting first place and Cadet Corporal Lopez getting third. The cadets have taught various classes, going above and beyond to teach these courses. Not being asked to, they have made presentations and slides to add their own authentic selves into the presentation. They have done community service, state events, and soon to participate in the bivouac that will be occurring this weekend. I am so proud of each accomplishment and achievements that the cadets have made this year. The cadets have participated in Extreme Team Challenge, which is a team of 10 competing in 10 challenges that are mentally and physically exhausting. Our warrior unit consisted of juniors and seniors who had placed third place, earning the XTC ribbon with a bronze star. Our plebe unit consisted of freshmen and sophomores who had placed second place, earning the XTC ribbon with a silver star. They are the first cadets to ever place at XTC, and we are very proud of their accomplishments. We also had cadets who participated in HHC and state staff, and cadets participating in being cadet medics. We are currently excited for the cadets to participate in the 15th Brigade bivouac, which will be taken and held at Camp Slow, learning life skills and training that could possibly save someone's life. As of this, the cadets are excited and will be teaching classes at this event. At the end of it all, Cadet Corps works. Cadets are promoting, excelling, and taking on challenge that the average teenager doesn't. At the school, we have after-school activities. The cadets are in charge of this training throughout the week. After school, the cadets participate in rifle drill, color guard, and recondo, progressing constantly within the Corps. Cadet Corps develops leaders and community builders. Now I will introduce Cadet Second Lieutenant Katheri to continue on talking about XCC and his medic experience in teaching his class.
Hi, I'm Second Lieutenant Shodin, and I went to Extreme Team with our teams. I was a medic, and I taught a class with Commandant Captain Chapman. He was blind, so we helped him, and I learned a lot from this captain, and it showed me that even with your disabilities, he was blind. You can do anything in this world that you put your mind to. Also, as a medic, I learned that if you worry about the smaller things, you won't see the bigger picture. So always make sure that when you see the big things, make sure you're looking through the cracks and making sure that all cadets and all people are also, I want to say I'm very proud of our high school team and our middle school team for getting in their places. Thank you.
You're tall, Caden. Okay. Next, to introduce the pleb leader who successfully took care of his unit and placed second place in pleb, Cadet Sergeant Ryan Melchers.
Thank you, ma'am. I am Cadet Sergeant Ryan Melchers from the California Cadet Corps at Rockmont High School. This year at the XTC, it was my first year, and just like many others, we were 9th and 10th graders, freshmen and sophomores, and I had no idea what was going to happen, what to expect, how it was going to play out, and quite frankly, I did not think that we could win. There was a lot of arguing within our group, and I just thought that it was out of the picture for us to win. When we were at the award ceremony that day, and we got called for second place, I was ecstatic, as were many of the members of my team. Now, we have been through problems, but we were able to complete the mission, to get these scores, and to fulfill the requirements needed for second place at the XTC. Thank you.
Now to introduce an amazing cadet, and a cadet story to be given by Cadet Sergeant Haley Prestige. Hello, everyone. I am Sergeant Prestige. I've been in Cadet Corps for 3 years now. I was my first year freshman. I was a cadet from AFJRTC. I represent my assignment that we had a couple months ago. The mission for Cadet Corps is to create outstanding leadership development opportunities for students. The vision is to develop students into tomorrow's leaders and today's community builders. To others, the mission and the vision may be another sentence they have to read. To us cadets, it means way more than words. The first year of Cadet Corps was here, I signed up for Big Rap. I was scared, nervous, frightened by other cadets because I only had to deal with cadets from our campus, from AFJRTC. When I got to Camp Slow, there were tents everywhere and intimidating people who told me to go here and to go there. To make it even worse, they handed me a paper saying I'm sergeant for platoon, something like that. I don't even know. Things worked out later that night. It was a great experience. Cadet Corps was also was our last hope. We got the news in January 2019 saying JFRTC is leaving and there is not a program available for our high school. To the senior cadets searched and looked for things to be safe on new cadets like myself, my commandant, my commander, and many seniors now to have what they had. Our last hope was Cadet Corps when it was presented presented to the school board. With 3 years of being here now, my best memory is 9/11 event we did with Joseph Peretti, Read Across America, Survival, UCLA, and any state event I did, plus being on staff for 2 years now. It took me a while to answer the question I've been asking myself when I got to Camp Slow for survival. I kept asking myself, why am I here? Why did I sign up? At this moment, I did realize I was the only female from my brigade to go to survival to win the Red Beret. I was lost. The most difficult part for me for survival was my mental health. I told the female commandant that I gave up just by day 3, which was I had 3 days left. My PTSD was getting bad. Being surrounded by mountains and the sun far from home was not being it for me. I just wanted my mom, honestly. Once we got into the vans after getting our Red Berets and hiking down that about 8 miles afterwards, heading back to San Luis Obispo, I finally answered my question. I signed up because I had faith in myself to push through, and this training was one of the toughest mentally. I made it through with no blisters, 2 ticks on me, 1 beheaded on my back and 1 on my neck, and attacked by many ants. Fell multiple times and created great bonds, plus the MREs were so good then. We also hiked around 32 miles in 6 days. Another event I was nervous about was Extreme Team Challenge that we just had. I thought about it. I thought it would be a mix of a condo with climbing involved. I was so wrong. We did sleep in tents. I met new people from other schools like OMI. As Saturday came along, we played foosball with our feet, which got attacked by dirt. Strategy games and some condo training with the rates and mental working challenges. It was hard to adapt to changes, working with teammates that I did not get along with in my school, and the weather at night. Going to a state event was a great memory to always remember. It was so much fun that the Warriors, 11th and 12th graders of the high school, came in third. The pleb, 9th and 10th graders of RHS came into second place. To all the cadets out there, all the kids, and all the little ones that don't know what to do when they get to the high school, take Cadet Corps. You learn mental health and mental and physical strength. Be a leader daily and escape home on the weekends to go to Camp Slow. It's free right now. Cadet Corps is a program to develop students to be the change of our community. It may seem silly to wear a uniform 2 times a week, but you have less laundry to wash. You get to do summer events for weeks, and you learn to respect yourself more because you view how you treat others and learn how to want to be treated by the same for yourself and other cadets and officers. Cadet Corps works because it brings opportunities to your life and you have no idea what to do. So just join, give it a shot, and your life will change once you truly invest into the process. So as you can see by these amazing stories, by these amazing leaders, that Cadet Corps works, and we are excelling and continuing to progress. The TMS unit is very strong and they have so many cadets, and I cannot wait to see those cadets flourish. The cadets learn, meet people, go places, and I am so immensely proud of these cadets. If you had told freshman year me that I'd be doing anything like this and doing all the crazy things I've already done, I'd probably look at you and say, I don't know what hit your head, but can it hit my head too? It's a struggle, definitely, and Cadet Corps has taught me that being mentally and physically strong is something that is taught. You can't just get it. So I'm grateful for Cadet Corps, and I hope you guys like Cadet Corps as much as I do. If we could have Superintendent Gaines, Ms. Akinini, Captain Kale, and Captain Wallace to help extend this warm welcome of the XDC awards to these cadets.
You don't know, this is our Tropico Commandant, Captain Cahill. XTC cadets, go ahead and stand up, and when your name is called, come on up.
Attention to orders. These following cadets have met the requirement for the Extreme Team Challenge Award with a silver star, second place, pleb division. Ryan Melchers. Charles Wills. Michaela Lopez. Morgan Peterson. Jacob Howell. Ace. Lance Amber.
Go to the line, just go back.
Got it?
These following cadets have earned the Extreme Team Challenge Award, Bronze Star, Warrior Division. Isaac Gutierrez. Roberto Ruiz. Haley Prestige. Jeremiah Garrett. I just want to give a round of applause for these following cadets that have
Good evening. As I said, I am Captain Cahill. I am not only the Commandant at Tropico, I actually supervise the Central Valley as the 15th Brigade Advisor. So that's how Captain Wallace said, hey, my boss can come up here and take this job. So that's how you guys got me. I drive from Bakersfield every day. And I also work on the state level with their curriculum, and I'm the S1. But in all of those roles as the 15th Brigade Advisor, I had to arrange promotion review boards for Captain Quellar. I'm not even allowed to sit on those. It has to be a state level board when she gets as high as she is. So at this time, I would like if Ms. Sacanini and Ms. Gaines, if I can give you this, one of you can shake your hand. I would like to, announce the attention to orders. The following cadet is promoted from the rank of cadet captain to cadet major. Kea Quellar of the 273rd Battalion, effective date 14 March 2022. The authority for this promotion is our state executive officer, Colonel Michael Smith. We have a personal goal that I've worked with on the state staff for now Major Quellar. She's got 2 more ranks to go, Lieutenant Colonel and Colonel. Colonel is the highest grade in the Cadet Corps program, and we have every aspiration and hope to get her there at summer camp this year. So she will finish her cadet career as the full colonel. The second promotion I would like to do tonight is at my level in the Central Valley. That was board I was able to sit on. I would like to call forward at this time Ryan Melchers. Ryan Melchers is being promoted from cadet sergeant to cadet staff sergeant. These are the NCO grades, at which time this summer, Staff Sergeant Melchers will have the opportunity to either determine if he's going to continue up the NCO grade, reaching the position of Command Sergeant Major, or he has the option of diverting and joining the officer ranks and going to OCS and beginning that track. So the Cadet Corps offers both options to the cadets, and some cadets go through the NCO track and then head on up to the officer track as well. And Staff Sergeant Melchers has that opportunity because he did start Cadet Corps as a freshman. So I'd like to congratulate both of these promotions.
Next, I'd like to introduce the Roseman High School Early College Campus Robotics team. And I would like to have their advisor come up first, Mr. Ton, introduce himself. Ton?
Yeah, I need to give us past a couple of
No problem. We heard they were going to come right now.
a couple of things here, and we'll get to the presentation. Thank you. Roll call vote, roll call for us. I am here, Bobby Smith is here, Sonny Hepburn is here, Jim Bender is here, Roy Moore is here. Is Ms. Finch here? Yes, she is. I need a motion to approve the agenda as there's 2 corrections.
So moved. With correction.
And I'll read the correction when we get to the personnel items and to the consent items. So that, motion by Mr. Rizzo, second by Ms. Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, Ms. Zachary, we're ready.
Hey, before we get going there, I'm overwhelmed. Cadet Corps, Mr. Wallace, what a wonderful job you've done. I'm lost for words when I watched that. That was so impressive. Thank you so much for all your hard work. You are creating young men and women into our future leaders, and it's just fantastic to watch that. Thank you so much.
Now we have another great group of students, the Roseman High School Early College Campus Robotics team. I'd like to introduce Mr. Ton. He is the advisor, and he can go ahead and introduce his mentors that come from NASA and help, as well as his team. Mr. Ton.
Hello everyone. This is my first come in the board meetings of living numbers. Thank you. So with a little bit myself, this is my second year teaching at Rosemont High School. I'm teaching math, and it's my first year running robotics club, and I'm so grateful. These kids are amazing. I have a great time with them. So I just want to get into the fun part of the robot. So I guess I just want to introduce our club president, Sarah. Thanks.
My name is Sarah Clausen. I'm the robotics I'm the Rosemont High Robotics president for this current 2022 school year. Our rookie year for our team in whole was 2016, and in 2019 we had a really good last comp before COVID hit. We were ranked 10th and 8th in our last two competitions. Our next competition will be April 7th through 9th at Eastside High School. It will be the Aerospace Valley Regional. This is our first competition in 2 years with a completely new team coming back after the break from COVID and all that. Robotics is a great way for your student, your child, to learn STEM and engineering processes. If they're interested in the engineering field, or even if they're not, robotics is a great way to just keep your mind going. You can know how to build things, you can not know how to build things, program things, anything like that, and you still have a place, you're welcome on the team. We have many different teams from programming to media. We currently are working very hard to get our robot ready for competition once our build season started, which was on January 8th. We have a very strong leadership team this year that I'm very proud of. We have our treasurer, Jasmine, and our CAD lead, Brian. Wait, they're not gonna wait. We have Pluto with electronics. AJ, the drive team lead, he's back there with the robot. We have Angie, our programming lead. Katie, our media lead, she's in charge of all the photos and stuff. And then me as manufacturing and the president. In robotics, we have 3 core teams to build the robot, get it ready for competition, everything like that. The manufacturing team is in charge of building the robot, CADing it out, getting the design ready, and putting something out there. We have a great electronics team to wire it up. They are in charge of all the wiring, connecting everything, and making sure everything's going to be working good. And to provide the brains of the operation, because otherwise, what's a robot without brains, is to talk a little bit about that. We have programming, and I will introduce our programming lead, Angie.
Cool. I'm sorry if I don't say this correctly. I don't have my glasses right now, so I can't see. So hi everyone, my name is Angela Celine Villavera. I am the lead programmer in the robotics team. I am proud to present to you what is the robotics team. Before you guys worry, don't worry, we will not go all world domination on you guys yet. So the essential thing that programming does is basically tell the robot what to do. We connect every single part of the electronics to all the parts that manufacturing does. So essentially, yes, we are the brains of this operation. You're welcome. Okay. From day one, we grab our programmers and we teach them ourselves how to program in this language called Java. This year, because we haven't been working that well, we've only been able to grab me, AJ, and one more alumni to work with us in order to teach our amazing, beautiful programming team how to work with said robot. We work in all sections, so we are a very well-rounded group. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So yeah, anything that you guys, none of us know what we're doing at the beginning. I'm still not sure what we're doing, and I've been here for 3 years. So we try as best as we can to teach our group, especially to start stripping our robots down in order to build new ones. So without further ado, AJ here will present to you guys work our robot.
That is our 2016 robot, so the robot building this year is a bit different. I'd like to now introduce our mentors. We have Mr. Jason, can't pronounce his last name, Lichnek, and Mr. David Warsack. They're both from NASA, as well as we have a short 2-minute video that I think you guys should have. Just tell them a little bit more about it.
My name is Sarah Clausen. I'm the current robotics president for the 2022 school year. For robotics, it's been a stressful year, but it's also been a fun year. We're coming off of COVID, so everything's jumbled around. Currently, we're building a robot for our competition in April that we can go take and see. All the students have been working very hard to make sure that we can keep going and make the competition in April. And while it's stressful this competition season, it's also completely fun, and we work as hard as we can, and we know how to work and what to do for the competitions. We have so many new things this year, from freshmen to seniors even, that are just experiencing everything from home to light because we came back from COVID, and those of us who were in COVID know that this is all completely different, and we are just pushing through.
What did you learn from robotics that you can use today?
Programming is actually a really helpful way of looking at how to solve problems, because if you look at it from the perspective of I need to know what to do, I need to know what the goal is in order to know the steps to get there, which is what you do in programming, then it makes a whole lot of tasks really easy. Because you can where I need to go, so then I can figure out how to get there because I know where I'm going.
Thank you.
So, how did you find out about robotics?
We made some friends in school, and then I was saying, hey, you want to tell you?
What did you learn in robotics that you would use today?
Today and in the future, probably programming and being able to talk to people and be kind of like a leadership position, something like that.
And what's your favorite part of robotics?
Programming, which is by far the best section.
Thank you.
And that's all. Thank thank you for your time and thank you for your support and coming out here and watching us talk about our robotics team.
Hi, my name is David Voracek. I'm the Center Chief Technologist out at NASA Armstrong Flight Research Center. What I want to do is talk about NASA's commitment to robotics across the nation. NASA gives over $2 million across the nation to teams based on, we have grants that go out to teams, and then we have what we call house teams. Our house teams are the teams that have NASA mentors in their teams, and we sponsor house teams from $5,000 to $15,000 a year on our house teams. Roseman here, we have two mentors, myself and Jason Leshniak. We both are NASA engineers, and we are pretty committed to the program, pretty committed to the school and the efforts that they have here. I've been with this team for about four and a half years now. I was with Lancaster High School when my kids were there, and so that was a lot of fun. But NASA's commitment to the team is solid. Both Jason and I are there whenever the students are there. So if there's one student there, we'll be there. And Andy said that they're not going to take over the world. Don't bet on it. These kids are outstanding, and they will take over the world. They will take our place. And, we really appreciate the support of the school board because it really does take a big team. Sorry, I get emotional when I talk about robotics because it's so precious to me. My kids all went through the program. One is a high school teacher and a programmer in Arizona. My daughter works for STEM. I think it's Instagram now. I don't remember which one she works for. Instagram, Twitter, are all the same. But it really does take a team. I think this is Aquanini has been great over the years. Mr. Khan, who came in as our advisor this year, awesome. For me, awesome young man. He's younger than my kids, and so taking over a team and a responsibility like this is a lot on a new teacher and a new mentor. So really appreciate his time, and again, really appreciate the school board and everybody here because it does take this network of people to support the students. So thank you. NASA's committed, and we hope that the school board and the school stays as well committed. And as we expand and go into the next years, we're going to probably need a bigger shop here in Roseman. We're going to need a practice pad, someplace to actually run the robot. We got a little room that's no bigger than the stage to work out of right now. And so as we expand, we're going to go to the elementary schools. This is the first year. I'm sorry, I'm talking a little long here, but this is the first year I think the team has got a very, very strong core. You don't teach programming at Roseman High School. These kids are learning the programming, the Java, and everything else. Electronics is another thing that is well learned, well skilled that we need as NASA engineers. We need a good core technical group. Your CTE program, your technical engineering program at Roseman is outstanding. And we were able to develop a partnership with those teachers. So that worked out really well. So continue to support the robotics team. NASA will continue to support it at pretty high levels of resources and financial. And so thank you, and thanks for your time too.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I noticed on a video, one of the students was cutting out the parts.
Yes.
Are they actually making this?
Absolutely. We have a small set of tools in the shop. We got, a saw and drills and, nothing. They don't. Yes. So answer your question. Yes, they make the parts, but developing the relationship with your engineering classes, we're able to use some of their water jets and that to also start making parts as we had a small team. We didn't get the CAD done, so most of the parts this year are made by hand.
So I noticed they look like they were running some high locks and hub fasteners in there. Are they using and learning how to use rivets?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
With Jasmine and Katie are expert riveters over there. they're the ones that can put the rivets in straight and, not have to pop them out after they're done. So we just use regular pop rivets, and they're doing all the riveting. The design is a collaboration between the mentors and the students. Lots of suggestions made. The students make most of the decisions on how the robot will look.
One more question. When we go to competition with that, what would we like it to do?
Okay, this is a 2019 robot. This next year's teen robot it's called Rapid React. So the competition is to take cargo, about 9-inch round balls. Cargo, we shoot them up into about a 10-foot goal. It's just a big circle up there. High goal, upper hub, lower hub. And then at the end game, it's to hang the robot. So when you watch the video, you'll see 2 hooks that we had that we were kind of playing with. Those will reach up about 5 feet high, pull the robot up, and then one will reach back, grab the next bar over here, pull itself up, release this one, and it'll swing back. And then one more time, we'll reach back one more time to go to the transversal bar and pull ourselves up from that. And that's the goal, is to shoot the cargo into the hubs and then climb in the hangar. So it's a transportation theme there. If you go to, just go on Google and type in first robotics competition 2022 competition, and you'll see that. And if you go to, there's a lot of YouTube videos, since this week is gonna be the 3rd week of competition. So there's a lot of competition video out there, and I can show you it, and we can sit here the rest of the night watching the robotics videos. I was at a competition last week as a game announcer, so I speak and do the play-by-play. And the teams down there are outstanding, and based on our design of the robot, I think Roseman will be a pretty competitive team at the Antelope Valley, Aerospace Valley Regional at Eastside High School, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You guys are all invited to come on down. It'll be an awesome event. We'll have students from different teams escort VIPs around, so you can come on down and let me know. I run the regional, so I'm in charge of it. So I think the robot will be really competitive this year if everything works as planned. But as you know, nothing ever works when you first bring it out. So we'll see.
Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries. Thank you.
Dave, just keep you up there. I'm not going to give you any questions, but I'm going to thank you and also your partner there.
Jason.
Okay, both of you and everybody doing this. Now, I've known Dave for many years. Well, I think we're close to
30 years. Yeah.
30 years, and he is volunteered. I'm glad that he came to Roseman, because I saw what he did at Lancaster, and he digs into this stuff. He and I know each other from sports officiating football, so if you ever see him go to a football game, you'll see him there, and this year you'll see me. He's a little mad at me because he was the oldest official, experience-wise, and I'm coming back taking that away from him. But he is the greatest guy I've ever met. I didn't work with him at NASA, but I did work out at Edwards, and I could see him shine. So Dave, again, both of you guys, thank you for coming to Roseman, and hopefully you're going to stay with us for a long time.
Right, till I retire probably, so which could be another 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years, and then we'll see what happens. But again, thank you, Bob, for the support. And again, we can't do it without the school board support for the robotics team and the efforts of the students and the school. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for the awesome demonstration, and now we'll continue on. Start on.
Good evening, everybody. Board, Mrs. Gaines, cabinet members. My name is Coach Mark Noderman. I'm the head girls soccer coach at Roseman High School. I'm joined by Coach Mike Ian. He's the head boys coach. We compete in the High Desert League in the California Central section. And in order to compete at that level and have successful seasons like we had, the boys won league. We finished third. We made the playoffs. We hosted some playoff games. I think the boys had a league MVP. We had a league MVP who's right here, Finch. Major Cuellar was a all-league team member. And in order to compete at this level and do these things, we have to have transportation to games. The past couple of years, because of the pandemic or budget issues or whatever, it's been kind of hectic getting to and from games, and we've had to cancel games and whatnot. And this year especially, because of COVID, a lot of games were canceled, rescheduled, added at the last second. And our transportation director, Ms. Desiree Castro, always told us yes. We were able to get to our games safely and on time, and we were able to compete at this high level. I'll let Coach Mikey say a few words, and then we just have a thank you for Ms. Desiree Castro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like my fellow coach, Mark said, we want to thank you all for all the support, the guidance, always having our back through last year's season, just playing and always being there for us, especially this year's season, coming back and trying to bounce from that. So we do appreciate all of you, the principal, the superintendent, the table, the parents, and all the people behind the scenes that make the difference. It's not just the coaches, it's not just the players, it's a whole team. So I want to thank all the Rosemont community. Appreciate all of you.
And Ms. Desiree can come up and we have a little poster for you to hang in your office.
CSEA report. You haven't been in CSEA? Okay, RTA.
Hello, good evening. Obviously, I want to congratulate all the students and staff members for their recognitions tonight and their amazing achievements. I have 3 topics on tonight's agenda to touch upon. First of all, item 8C, which is the approval of the 2022-23 school calendar. I met with the RTA Executive Board yesterday, and there is still great concern over the calendar being recommended for adoption. The issue continues to revolve around the Parent Conference Day. Members of the Executive Board feel that conferences on a Friday during regular school time does not give parents an ample opportunity to meet with teachers. The district's LCAP plan and all school site plans call for improved communications with parents. This calendar reduces communication. RTA would like to continue to explore other options. We recommend the board table the vote on this item and that the district schedules one more meeting of the calendar committee to hear options and ideas from RTA members that are on the committee. Secondly is item 10B, which is the second interim report on the budget. I simply request the opportunity to ask a few questions during the presentation. And then lastly, item 11A, certificated employment and resignations. This is personal. I look forward to the board's vote tonight on this particular item. But I would also like to point out that myself and Mrs. Almos are on the agenda for retirement. Lula and I were hired the same year within 2 weeks of each other. I always remind her of my seniority over her. I am number 3 on the seniority list and she is number 4, even though she argues with me every time on that one. It has been my pleasure to work with Mrs. Almos for 30 years. She has given an unparalleled contribution to our EL and migrant students over that time. Our Hispanic community can tell you the incredible value she has been in the classroom and in the community. And I deeply appreciate everything Mrs. Olmos has done for our students. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. The high school has a promise year trips coming up. Baseball, softball have all started games, and we start league next week. Seniors are creating senior squares this week. We're planning a color run for Special Olympics. We also have a few representatives from clubs going to the middle school to kind of talk about their experience and what they'll be doing throughout the year. Thank you for your time.
CEO report. Good evening. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the Cadet Corps and Robotics team, and the soccer coaches for coming out tonight and showing us what talking about your experiences with the district and everything. Last month we were able to have an active shooter training at the high school. So I want to say thank you to the staff and administration and everybody who were able to attend that. It was one of the weirder weather days this year, so the turnout wasn't quite exactly what we were hoping for, but we were able to pull it off. So next month we'll be doing the same thing at Tropical Middle School. The consent agenda has the vote for that from Navigate 360, so that will continue to expand this training throughout the district. And then lastly, I want to say, publicly that we're extending transportation to include Rara High School, so that if there are students and families that have issues getting to school because of transportation issues, we're working to remedy that with the district there. That is it for me. Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Lacy.
All right, I would also like to thank all of the high school different teams coming out tonight to talk and share with us all of the exciting things that have been happening at the high school. It's so great to see all the things happening with the Cadet Corps, and I'll be honest, I walked by the other day and watched the robotics team out there, and I wanted to join them. I'm pretty sure they would have let me if I made them, but they looked like they were just having a ball out there, so it was really exciting to see that. And next, I had the opportunity today to MC the district's Oral Language Arts Festival at West Park. West Park's the only school that participated this school year. It was an amazing event. For our Humorous Solo, we only had one competitor, and so she will be moving on to the regional competition. That will be on April 1st in Mojave. And that's Pippa Rendon. For Serious Solo, there were two competitors. One was Cassandra Rivas and Riza Rodriguez. Cassandra Rivas was the first place winner, and she will be moving on. Our Serious duos were Chloe Sheets and Dominic Luna. So there was just one duo in that section. And then for Humorous Duo, there were three different sets of duos. So we had Francisco Arredondo and Marissa Robles, who won first place. And then the other two competitors are Alexander King, Tristan Galvan was in one duo, and Alexa Magian and Natalia Sepulveda. They also competed, and I will tell you, the competition for all of these was amazing. And then we did have one verse choir, and so all of these students worked together for theirs, and that was Esteban Llanes, Donna Casada, John Marquez, and Norberto Diaz. And all of the first place winners, like I said, will move on to the regional competition on April 1st in Mojave. And I have a feeling, based on what we saw today, that we might have some people moving moving on to the county competition because our students did a fabulous job. I would like to thank Mrs. Hahn for her work with our students this year. She did a fabulous job. She always does. We're gonna miss her. She's retiring next year. She's definitely an asset to the World Language Festival. We had our judges that came out, timekeepers, and calculators, and we want to thank all those people that came out to support our students today. It was just a really great experience today, and I was happy to be there. That is it for me this evening. I just want to wish everyone a fantastic spring break next week, and thank everyone for all their hard work, all the staff, teachers, classified staff, everyone that's out there working really hard. Thank you so much.
Associate Superintendent Marcus.
Good evening, everyone. I too want to say congratulations to all of our students that performed today, especially our cadet corps. Those of you that promoted and did such a great job. Robotics and then our soccer teams did amazing this year, so congratulations for all of your hard work. HR, we're always very busy trying to fill those holes that we have. Lots and lots of interviews have been taking place, mostly for paraeducators, and custodians, maintenance. We're always looking for paraeducators to fill some of our spots. We've also been starting to post some positions, both special education and general education, moving into filling some of those spots for the 22-23 school year. And Jim, I just want to say that we certainly are going to miss you, and that your spot will certainly be hard to fill for many reasons. So, thank you.
Good evening and welcome. It is always such a treat for me, and I'm sure the board and cabinet would say the same, to see so many people in the audience. Thank you and welcome. I too had the pleasure of attending the oral language contest today at West Park, and I want to echo what Ms. Lacey said. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to our wonderful second grade teacher, Ms. Faith-Hahn, because, Mrs. Faith-Hahn, because without her leadership and guidance, and let me tell you, she starts talking about this oral language contest. I think she started bugging me on the first day of school, and I was like, can we just get through the first day of school? But it's a project that is obviously very near and dear to her heart, and today I was absolutely just enjoy watching these young children perform, and not one of them missed a word. Did they have to look at anything? They had all of their lines memorized and were articulating them with when it should have been funny, they made you laugh. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we do in Mojave. So thank you again, West Park, Dr. Roby, and especially Ms. Hahn for her work in this contest. Last night we had our varsity football banquet, and it was such a treat. We had the Dean of Athletics and Kinesiology from Antelope Valley Community College was the guest speaker for the boys and their families, and it was so great to end the football season with such a high note. The boys were, they were very appreciative, and I want to thank Mr. Ed Shevlin, who was there and made sure that there was plenty of food, and the families and everyone, I think, really enjoyed themselves. And we look forward to really moving forward with a great football program next year. Cadet Corps, Captain Wallace, I don't know what else I really can say. They never cease to amaze me what you do, you and Captain Cahill, with our young people. It's incredible. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And robotics, I love robotics. Don't know anything much about them, but I love watching them. So Mr. Tan and great work. I also want to thank our two mentors from NASA. I appreciate you selecting Southern Kern as the place that you want to come and support us in this work. And I want to say that transportation is going to be providing transportation for our athletic teams at Tropico. Am I correct in saying that? Yes, so I'm very, very excited about that, and I know that Ms. Castro is just, I love working with her because she's very focused on doing whatever we can for our students. Thank you, Desiree, for that. I so appreciate that. I know I'm leaving somebody out here, but for now, I think that's it. Thank you.
Word, let's go to Paul.
Last month when I gave out the attendance awards, I was extremely disappointed because every one of our sites for the month of January had shown absolutely no growth in attendance percentage. And this month, for the month of February, I'm so excited to say it's the absolute opposite. Every one of our schools showed an improvement in attendance. And I think that is partially related to the fact that as our COVID exposures and the number of our students who were actually becoming ill with COVID decreased. Last week we had 3, and the week before that we only had 2 students out of 3,551 to be exact who have tested positive for COVID. So we're very, very excited about that. So it was very close. I want to say that Mr. Wexler gives me this data every month. So for most improved attendance goes to with a 6.72% growth from January to February to Roseman High School. All right, for best attendance percentage, elementary, I don't know what to say, with a 5.76% growth, West Park Elementary keeps it. And for best attendance secondary with a 6.19% growth in attendance, the award goes to Tropico Middle School. Mr. Irving, you will make sure that all 3 of these
schools get their, students get their treat for their attendance awards.
Board communication, Bob.
Okay. Thank you for everybody for coming. One of the things that we as a school board would like to see is the growth of our school, not only in amount of students, but in achievement. And so we thank everybody out here for especially Cadet Corps. I've known Mr. Wallace for a long time. Keep up the good work and, hopefully we get these, much better. Hopefully you get a lot more of the youngsters out there. Same thing with robotics. We definitely have, I'm glad to see that robotics was here. In fact, it's funny because during one of the football games, I mentioned Mrs. Agnini because Mr. Broadcheck was actually the referee on the game. I said, we need to get him. She says, I already have him. Fantastic. And so forth. And then really we go with that. We got the other stuff that are going on. We're pushing our athletics programs. We hopefully we're going to get to the best coaches we can get at the varsity level, and the coaches at the varsity level will get us the best assistant coaches, so that we can move that program forward and have something for our students as student athletes to be able to participate in. Other than that, enjoy the vacation next week and look forward to seeing you at the next board meeting.
Hello. I'm excited for everything that's going on with the robotics team. I'm rooting for you guys at Inside, hoping you guys bring home some gold or whatever they're going to give you, another robot. I'm excited for you guys to start learning Java and coding and all that stuff, so that's exciting. With the Cadet Corps, you guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Your leadership team is amazing. And we already wished everybody a happy spring break. Spring is coming. This weather's all over the place. Bring a light sweater. You never know what's going to happen around here, right? Plant some seeds, grow something. It's a lot of fun. Play in the dirt. It's good for you. That's all I have.
I'd like to thank everybody who came out. It's nice to see your smiling faces. So some of you might have to go like that so I can recognize you. It's been a long year. We'll get through it. I want to thank the teams too. It's awesome. I was so impressed. And as long as I'm on board, you have our full support. I'm excited what's going on. I wish the Valley Press was here so they could write headlines. Watch out, Roseman's on a roll. Watch out. And all our teams are doing fantastic. We got all these programs going and the students. It's just amazing. It's great to see. Jim, I have to agree with you. I am going to miss Mrs. Olmos. We do have another one on there. Our secretary is leaving. I wish we could vote no on it. And Jim, I also want to thank you because you deserve a lot of credit too. My son is now 40, and I talked to him about you. And you were his teacher. And he tells me that he still remembers and he teaches his children the thing that you taught. So you've done an wonderful job. We want to thank you. And you are going to be missed. Thank you, Jim, for all your work. Again, thank everybody.
Okay, so I just want to say I'm glad to be back finally after the last board meeting. That little mishap I had, it took me a couple weeks to get there, but I'm feeling better now, so I'm glad glad to be back. Mr. Wallace, thank you for all you do with these cadets, and how do you say your last name? Cahill, thank you to you too. I always see the cadets walk around town in their uniforms or something like that, and I just know it's gonna be a good day. I remember I'd walk out of my ASB classroom and all the cadets would always salute me, and I was like, I don't know why. I'm not even doing cadet course stuff, but I always see them out there yelling and all that. I have to stop my meetings sometimes because of it, but I always enjoy it. Congratulations to West Park, Tropico, and Rosemont High School on your guys' attendance awards. And robotics, we're rooting for you out at Eastside High School. I'll try to make it one day, but I'm not gonna promise anything. And I just wish you guys all a happy and safe spring break. Mr. Walker, thank you for all you've done over the years. You will be missed.
It's just amazing to see the amazing kids that we have. You guys are awesome. You guys are the leaders of tomorrow. You will be sitting up here, taking care of whatever business, leading us in the community. Your captains are teaching you great things. So keep paying attention. Robotics, they're the ones going to be landing the next stuff up on the moon and Mars and everywhere else. So it's amazing. You guys, what you're learning now is just amazing. I wish I would have had this kind of stuff when I was in school. But, we were going to have other stuff. And one of these. Yeah. Mr. Plummer, we're going to miss you. Sally doesn't get to go. That's all there's to it. Miss Olmos I've known for quite a bit of her life. Our families have actually been good friends. So I'm not going to miss her, but she'll be over the house. With that, do we didn't have any public comments?
No comments.
Thank you, John. Just wherever you go, get to go. On item O, there's a change for the increase is going to be 50 more students going to this contest or the prom. Sorry. So the ASB is taking care of the additional fees. So it's $8,898.84. So that's the one of the changes that was made to the agenda. Does anybody have any other questions on any consent items?
I do. I have a question on item D for the school innovations and achievement, A2A, student attendance management. So my question was, is this a new system or is this a continued subscription of this of the management for attendance? I just wanted a little more clarification on that.
It's not a new system. We've been using this system, and this is just a continuation with a one-year contract. They do a really good job. They let us know, they keep tabs on all of our attendance. They provide us letters that are sent out to parents. Sometimes they do brochures. They tell us how many students need to have, parents need to have those conferences with the school admin. They keep very strict data, which we can see data trends for a 3-year period. You have to have 3 years of data for a trend. You can see the trend and how our attendance is doing, how we did during COVID, and how we're now doing better than actually we're higher than where we were.
Thank you, Martha. Anyone else?
accept the consent items.
Motion by Ms. Lynn,
Second.
second by Byrne. All in favor?
Aye.
5 ayes. Approve of agreement with American Modular Systems, Inc. for the purchase and installation of 8 modular classrooms, or excuse me, 28 modular classrooms, 4-bathroom buildings for Tropical Middle School, extension project in the amount of $8,052,680, and that's hard to say. Mr. Irving, would you want to lean to anybody?
For the anticipated expansion of Tropical Middle School, as part of the process, we did a RFP for the construction to continue with CDE and ESA approved plans so that we can get funding through OPSC. AMS came in with the lowest and only bid for the project. By approving this, we are not putting ourselves on the hook for $8 million if the project were, the funding were to fall through with OPSC. It is solely so that we can, when approved, AMS can start with proper design of the buildings to make sure that they have ESA approval, and it keeps the price at the $8,052,681. And that way, it doesn't increase as we're saying with almost everything these days, that prices keep going up and up and up. That will not happen with this.
We have a clause to step out of that, right? Oh, something happens.
Yeah, it does only binds
We're
us.
just trying to lock in the moment price.
Right, yes. If we don't have this locked in, we can't go in for the $21 million that we need to promise by the state. In case anybody else is curious, this is a project that we started back in 2012. Well, yes. Trying to get money to build more classrooms at TMS and get rid of more outdoors. And the state's taking this long to promises our money for free, for real. It kept promising, now it might actually happen. The classrooms are from American Modular Systems are the same classrooms like we just put in right here. And then the 30th, so on the 31st, we'll be having them ready to go. So, yeah, they're very nice. I mean, they're the insides. If you didn't know better, you wouldn't know that they had been moved in. They are that nice. So, anyways, I was having. So I need a motion to accept the bid.
That still needs words like mine, because we've been doing this since 2012, and we were promised this time, for sure, $28 million.
Well, the back then it's 28, now it's 21.
Okay, 21.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Hubbard, second by Ms. Lett, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve agreement with Earth Systems Pacific to provide geological and geotechnical hazardous report for Rosewood High School cafeteria project in the amount of $19,500. Did geological or geotechnical geological hazard report is required by the Division of State Architects and the California Geological Survey as a prerequisite for the project approval. That's for the cafeteria that we're planning for the high school. Anybody have any questions? Okay, need a motion? Motion. Motion by Ms. Select, second. Second by Mr. Bennett. All in favor? Aye. Approve the 2022 and 2023 annual school calendar. Sorry.
Good evening. So we do have our calendar that we have on the agenda for approval tonight. At the last meeting, we talked about gathering some data as to why we felt it was important that we have that day after Easter. So Robert was able to get this for me. So in 2016-17, when we had the Friday off and we had the Monday off, that Tuesday, our attendance was 93.89%. In 18-19, that Tuesday, our attendance was 93.63%. In 19-20, our attendance was 95.15%. In April of 2020, we don't have any data. That was when we went out for COVID, so we don't have any data for that. Last year, when we did not have the day off and we came back on that Monday the 5th, our attendance had dropped to 86.77%.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, I do. What were you saying about the parent conference day?
The teachers on the executive board feel if you have parent conference day on that calendar on Friday, during the school day, fewer parents will attend the conference. They will turn it into a 3-day week. And so we will not have the level of communication that we would have with parent conferences on Thursday. We've also talked about, the fact that parent conferences got changed from being scheduled from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock on parent conference day, so that parents had evening conferences available. It was changed a few years ago to just during the school day, which is a hardship for a lot of parents to make conferences because during the school day, we wanted to explore options to make it as available for parents to meet with their child's teachers as possible. Things that work both for the district and what the teachers think might be more effective in being able to meet with parents.
How do we do it this year?
The way we've done it, it actually creates a 4-day weekend, because if we have conferences on Thursday, so students typically have Thursday, Friday, and the weekend off. So, if they're gonna come to the conference, I think they're gonna come to the conference, whether it's on a Thursday or a Friday. So, it's a 3 or 4-day weekend for students, either however we do it. And the Great Shakeout is a nationwide program that we have participated in the last couple of years, and that's always on the third Thursday, so it's on the 20th. So when we were going through the calendar, we had the Great Shakeout on there, but the teachers had said, well, if we have conferences on Friday, it's possible to move the minimum day, because when we had on Thursday, the minimum day was Wednesday. So we had minimum day Wednesday, conferences on Thursday. So they said, okay, well, if we're gonna do conferences on Friday, can we move that minimum day to Thursday? And so that would be fine, because, regardless, we were not going to have, teachers are always given that day to prepare for conferences, that minimum day. So that's why the Great Shakeout is not denoted in a separate color, but it is in the minimum day blue color, but we would still participate on that Thursday.
What was it attendance the year before the COVID?
The year before COVID, it was 95.15.
And what day was that on?
So that was also, we had the Friday and the Monday off. And so that was coming back on Tuesday, the 23rd of April, and it was 95.15.
Spring break, very Easter.
I'm sorry.
What happens spring break and Easter?
Well, spring break doesn't necessarily have to be connected to Easter. Sort of the way we've done it over the last several years is just, it kind of goes along with the high school district, with some of the districts that are surrounding us. It also gives us, if Easter is in April, then March is a long month with no holidays. And sometimes if, Easter like last year was really late towards the end of April. So it just depends really where Easter falls.
So I have a question. I'm not on the calendar committee, so I don't see any of this. I know the issue is the great shakeout and that Friday being the day that the conferences happen. What if we push the parent-teacher conferences out a week? And then is the issue still the 4-day weekend situation? Is that the main problem, or is it shakeout thing?
Yes, so the teachers would like to have it on Thursday and then have that local holiday on that Friday. So, that's kind of the issue there. It's been something that we've had for many, many years. But some of the classified staff and other staff that I presented the calendar to really felt that it was important for families and for staff that there's a lot of people that travel over the Easter holiday, even if it's just for the weekend. And so that was why they really liked having the local holiday there where it benefited, where they felt it was a greater benefit to everybody.
So when we hit 95%, we still had it on the Friday during the day.
No, that, the attendance that I'm referring to is when we had, Easter. So the numbers that I'm talking about are when we have the Easter holiday, when we have Friday and Monday off. Our attendance was much higher than if we just had the Friday off and we coming back on Monday.
I just feel like we should fix our attendance rate too, if we can spring break during Easter, because then you get a week off, Easter Sunday, you come back Monday, it's not to do shit, no, the whole week off. People don't look at it, because I just feel like having spring break in March, that's just giving these kids a week off for no reason. Like next week, what are they gonna do next week? There's no
They
holidays.
need to play the soil, and it's gonna be the first day of spring. That's what's happening next week, right?
My whole life has been on Easter week, so. Stay that way. And as far as the parent conference thing goes, I have no clue.
When does this need to be?
Well, we were hoping that we would be able to get approval on it this evening because we would like to be able to get it out to our families who are, planning their vacations and those type of things. And staff as well.
So what's the biggest issue we have? It's just that Friday? I sort of agree.
Yes, the
I
teachers
sort
would
of
like to
agree
have it
that
ready.
nighttime is better.
It's not about having the Friday off, it's about having better contact with our parents.
Well, in the conversations during the calendar committee, it was mainly they wanted the Friday off. So that's my information.
It's a more involved conversation that happened, and that's why we asked for it to be tabled so that the committee could have one more meeting.
Well, I just put it this way, on parent conferences, if a parent wants to, have better contact with the district, they're gonna take work off and come to their students' parent conference, and they don't take work off and they don't wanna come, and they don't wanna come in the evening. I mean, that's, it's, aren't they in the daytime and evening too? they give slots at 4 or 5 o'clock? Why not? What happened to that? Come on.
That was
It's like, Jesus,
That was
Chief
County Figures.
Why?
Well, because we feel that they're, in our surrounding areas, that is really not something that is done. Conferences are always held during this.
Well, that's just.
Well, I believe that the October 20th American Great Shakeout has to be on that day.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to be consistent with everybody else. But I don't feel that there'd be a big concern or hurry to table this for another week or so.
Can we?
Just one more discussion. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I really like to, if we can't go to the nighttime feature conference, then this is fine with me. But I would really like to see how we could do that, because I really believe that people after work would come more to talk to their teachers that way. So I've done that all my life, but people work. And they do want to come talk to the teacher.
Well, and that's why those two things are tied together. If you have the nighttime conferences, that you finish at 8 o'clock, and then you have to clean up everything, and you have some teachers that live 30 minutes to an hour away. That's why it was always very important then to have the following day be a non-student day. Because if you're getting home at 9, 10 o'clock, you've been working, talking all day, nobody who's not been a teacher and sat through a day of conferences has any idea how exhausting it is. I've heard so many times in these committees, oh, why do you need the next day off? You're just sitting and talking. You have no idea how exhausting it is. And then if you go till 8 o'clock, which a lot of teachers like doing so that they can have a better chance of meeting with parents, that's why they're tied together. But the members of the RTA members on the calendar committee and the executive board members have a couple of ideas that relate to what Ms. Hepburn said regarding the shakeout. We know how important that is to the district. Related to trying to provide time later in the day for parents, maybe not all the way till 8 o'clock, but later in the day. There are some options there that we don't feel we have ample opportunity to be considered. What I kept hearing from the committee members was, we didn't have a voice, we brought up the ideas and they were shot down.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we table this. And we're gonna give one more opportunity for them to speak. And if there's no changes, I'm happy. But I want to make a motion to table it.
Same here, but I have a question. So what's the exact set in stone reason why the evening conferences are not in place? Is that just because we're the only district that did that?
We took that out because we felt that parents will come, if they want to come for a conference, they'll come with us.
Okay, right, but then there's parents like my mom and dad who get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work, and they don't get off till 5 o'clock. Especially when other than human resources or federal government, there is no time. You don't get a lot of time off. And the evening conferences always work for us. And I mean, if we're already, I hear too many times in this district, we're not doing something because Lancaster or Mojave or Miller. I really don't care what they're doing. I'm not on their board. I don't think about them. I think about what we're doing here. And if it's gonna benefit our parents and our teachers to have conferences in the evening, then that's what we're doing. But if there's no, if there's no change, whatever. When's the next calendar meeting?
Well, we have to schedule one.
2 weeks? Are we okay for 2 weeks?
We'll schedule.
And do we have to bring this back?
Yes.
Absolutely, because then we'll also have to make sure that CSEA and everyone else who's on the calendar is invited to that next meeting.
We make sure they're there. If they're not there, that's it.
They've always been there.
Okay. Let's hear what they have to say one more time. I make a motion, we table it till next meeting. Give another chance.
I have a motion on the floor. Who's the second?
That was me.
Okay, I want you to show him aye. 3, 4. I nay. Okay. Approve resolution 21-22-10 of the Board of Trustees of the Southern Prairie Unified School District support preschool, transitional kindergarten and full day kindergarten facilities grant program. Mr. Irving?
As we move closer and closer to universal pre-K being incorporated into what is currently our PK instruction, the state of California is opening up opportunities for funding for districts to improve their facilities so that we have adequate space and rooms that are the proper size for preschool. Is children that age require larger square footage than a typical classroom. They were, coming into food service and stuff like that, they'll need stuff that are lower sinks, toilets, cafeteria tables small enough that adequately have equipment and everything that will house even tinier people than our current TK kindergarten. So as part of the application process, to get the ball rolling, we need to have approved resolutions for the full day preschool and transitional kindergarten that maximize our opportunity for state funds.
So in short, we're approving a resolution to ask for state funds to get our pre-K classrooms compliant and modernized for the future.
Did you say pre-K?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so is that a motion, Mr. Bender?
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bender, seconded by Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Approve resolution 21-22-11 for the Board of Trustees of Southern Prairie Unified School District support pre-K, transitional kindergarten, and full-day kindergarten facilities grant.
Yeah, one's for preschool, the other is for transitional kindergarten.
Oh, transitional, okay. One's preschool, the other's. Okay, any motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Vincent, seconded by Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
Five ayes. Hearing the public comments of the A2G condition improvement grant plan. Ms. Lacy?
The A through G completion improvement grant plan, program was started this year. It was approved by the CDE. And we have to come up with a plan by April, we had to develop a plan by April 1st. The requirement is to bring it to the board for discussion at a board meeting and then for approval at a subsequent board meeting. The funding that we have been allotted for this grant is $284,878. The basic purpose of this grant is to improve and increase services to unduplicated students in ways that will increase their A through G eligibility. Funds to be used to provide opportunities for eligible students to retake A through G courses. If they took a course and they had a grade lower than a C minus, so either a D or an F, we have to make sure that we are providing them with that opportunity to either make up have a better grade in that course, or if they received an F, to be able to get a grade that would be sufficient. And then also the grant funds could we need to just, in the grant, make, our plan, make sure that our funds that we are using they are supplement, not supplanting any other plans like the LCAP or any of the other learning recovery plans. Also, as part of the requirements in this plan, we had to come up with a metrics or a way to measure the impact of the grant funds. So the grant that I have, we put together for you tonight, for that $284,878, was to pay for an additional college and career counselor at the high school that focuses truly on college and career readiness for students. So having that piece of looking at students' grades for their A through G courses and making sure if they did have a grade lower than a C minus, that we are actively making sure that they are either have the ability to retake the course, or if they're not, if it's a course that they don't necessarily need to make, but we need to give that choice to them that they can retake that. Also, it also is the CT or the college and career counselor is going to check students' grades throughout the year to see if they are earning a D or an F, and meet with those students and their parents to come up with a plan for them to increase that grade so they don't have to retake that class at a later date. They're also going to work on recruitment for concurrent enrollment in college courses, organizing college and career events, coordinating field trips to go out to colleges and possibly tech schools, and developing plans to increase our average course enrollment, helping with the CTE coordination, and being the avid site coordinator. And so there's a lot of different things that we put in for that position that's really going to truly focus just on getting our students college and career ready. And also, as part of the funding, we're going to pay for a portion of that to pay for professional development for that college career counselor and just these specific areas that we want them to work on and focus on. And then also to provide additional AVID PD for the AVID teachers that are specifically teaching the AVID elective courses, as well as the tutors that we have that work in those classroom settings. For the evaluation piece of the plan, some of the things that we're going to be looking at are the number of students completing CTE pathways, number of students that complete A through G requirements with the grades of C minus or higher, number of students enrolled in AVID classes, the number of students concurrently enrolled in college courses, and the number of students accepted to colleges, universities, and trade schools as they leave Roseman High School Early College campus. We feel that this plan is a good one. Tonight, as part of this plan, we have to bring it to the board for discussion, and then at a subsequent board meeting, have you approve the plan. So tonight is just to have you guys discuss your thoughts of this plan, and then at the next board meeting, we'll bring it to you for a vote.
Okay. We need to recess for public comment on this. Motion by Elizabeth, seconded by Pepper. All in favor? Aye. This is recess. So anyone in the public can ask questions at this time? Does anybody have any questions?
On this subject?
Yes, on this subject. Yeah.
Now, this is going to be for a counselor.
Correct.
Well,
part of it, yes.
Part of it, and they're going to, it's full-time?
This is going to pay for half of the counselor, and then there's another grant that's going to pay for the other half of the counselor. And they will work with both Roseman High School and then also our alternative ed students.
So we'll basically have one full counselor that can watch one of these students from 9 till 12.
Well, we have the other two counselors that also work on different, looking at grades and things like that. This one is truly going to focus just on college and career readiness.
That's awesome.
I had a question.
Yes.
Is this one-time money, or does this?
This is a grant that lasts for a while, and we did discuss with Mr. Irving the fact that we would be able to fund this later on out of LCAP funds. We would just have to fund our LCAP plan.
I'm always worried about one-time
I
money.
was also very, very worried about that myself. But yes, Mrs.
I just wanted to add that this position will also help to increase our career college index points, you want to say, on the California dashboard, and that's also gonna help support our SCSA goals that we have. We were hit very hard with COVID. We were like at 65 or 68% college career ready. After COVID, we dropped down to 38%. So this person will help to make sure that those pieces are in place, because right now it's kind of a big job. And we need somebody that can focus on it. I know one of our goals is also to revive the ABC early college, coming to the early college campus after school and getting those teachers back. That takes a lot of like liaison working between the two institutions, making sure that the students' paperwork gets over there. A lot of it's electronic now, not like it used to be. But helping those kids, because a lot of those kids come from homes that they don't have parents who ever went to college. So the parents don't know the pathway to support the kids. We're hoping that this position will be absolutely that. Help the kids, enroll, to make sure they have support, to make sure that they're working with the CTE people and making sure that the pathways get completed. Those are also other ways to show that our students are becoming college career ready. So it's gonna really help with a lot of the stuff on our SBSA and overall graduation too.
We're gonna be able to financially support this for several years.
Yes.
And if I could just add something to what Ms. Lacy and secondly were talking about. We met, I believe it was Monday, with the team from Antelope Valley Community College. They came to Rosedale High. And, our students will all receive free tuition. And I talked to them at that meeting about what was the possibility that our children could get, our students could get their books taken care of too, because sometimes the books are an issue. I also mentioned this Monday night to the president of the college, and he has a couple of pockets of money that he's going to see how he can take care of our students' books as they enroll in these classes.
Thank you.
So it would be totally free.
Anyone else? Any questions?
I just, as a parent, I want to make sure, and as a staff member, because once the kid's gone through, they're still my students. I want to make sure that if they do want to go to college and maybe their grades aren't as college ready as they should, are we going to give them the support they need to make sure that they will be college ready?
That's what this program is supposed to do.
Okay.
That's the whole point of this whole thing.
To
help them so that they don't have the issue with not having good enough grades.
This family, we can't go, which that's not, you can go, because I'm a first one to graduate from college in my family. So it's possible. I just don't want, I'm a single mom. My mom is a single mom. So I want to make sure that our students have that opportunity to go to college. Just because their family doesn't have the money, I want to make sure that they can do that.
Well, this sounds like a good program. Make a motion, please, Barbara. This is just info.
Yeah.
Yeah, just info.
It's
Okay,
time.
and I will, motion to.
Wait, we have another question.
Okay, who got a question?
So as far as the A through G completion, is the counselor also going to help them with the application process and making sure that they have stuff turned in by deadlines?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. That's part of that whole support and helping them through the steps.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Do you have any
Anyone?
questions? I do have a question, thank you. I know right now, do you have anybody in that role doing anything like this? I know, like you said, it's a big job, there's a lot of stuff to be done. So do we have anyone at the school now that's helping some students with this?
Yes, but on a limited basis because of all the other things they have to do, and that's why we're trying to pull that piece away. So that person can be more effective, where they can go into the classroom, they can market, they can do all that. Also, ABC has given us support for outreach, where they'll have someone come, and that will help support as well to bring a table out during lunch, and give out information, sign kids up on an interest list. So that's going to be a helpful piece as well.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, shall we go back into closed? We go over the meeting. Second. favor?
Aye.
Aye. Regular scheduled meeting.
This meeting, part of, oh, you can see, it's getting exciting.
District parent and family engagement policy for 2022 and 2023. Ms. Stacy.
As part of Title I, we, every year annually, need to bring this to the board for approval. This is a parent involvement plan, basically, that is for the entire district. It involves having different committees and getting information from different committees such as the school site councils, the ELACs, the DLACs, and the district advisory council, and putting together and getting input on this plan, which we did do, and making sure that we get information from all of our community
Stakeholders.
thank you. Yeah, sometimes my brain. So this plan basically, it has all of that information in it. We've got input from all kinds of different places to make sure that we have lots of parent involvement. This is an annual, we have to, like I said, annually evaluate the plan and change it and add input from all of those different pieces. The items addressed in the parent-family engagement policy are common barriers that exist for both schools and families, things parents need to know to assist their child's learning, how schools will help foster parent-teacher relationships, and strategies to support successful school and family interactions. So there are lots of different things that the different family parents and staff members have provided to put into these different areas and answer these different questions, and ways that we can help support our parents in becoming more involved in their child's education, and the ways that schools can support that in happening. So that's what this plan is all about. And again, this is something that we have to do annually, so I'll be bringing this to you every year for approval for the next year.
Do I hear a motion? Motion by Ms. Lett. Second. Second by Mr. Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Set the audit report from June 30th, 2021, presented on March 2nd, 2022 by JLG and Associates.
All right, so the last one meeting from JLG was out to talk about the audit report and go over the findings with you guys. So this is just a follow-up to that, so that we have a record of whether or not the audit report was accepted or not.
I will make a motion that we accept the audit report.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Bensley. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes. Mr. Irving, the second interim report.
I was gonna do this from the podium, but Sally stole my extension cord for the microphone, so I will do it seated by a microphone, so that hopefully you guys can hear and understand what I'm saying. First up are the revenues that we have for this year as a second income. Overall, there's an increase of $6 million, for the sake of our number, $6.3 million increase in revenue compared to what was set up with the original budget back in June. This is due to a lot of things happening simultaneously with funding the state and with COVID funds. Property taxes are anticipated to be higher. Our EPA funding from the state is higher than what was budgeted initially, including SR2 and SR3 funds. for the next, for part of this year and the upcoming years, has increased, the anticipated, revenue, as these are unearned revenues, so we don't really earn that revenue. We don't get that money from the federal government until we show that we're actually spending it. Also, things like the, ADT, grant requirement, ELOP, additional funding for the after-school safety program. There's been a lot of places where the state has allocated more money than I had anticipated back in the summer. Moving on to the slides. Our unrestricted revenues are based off of the LCF calculator. There's some, our restricted includes some of the COVID-19 funding, not all of it, because we're not spending all of our award amounts in this year, next year, or the year after. Some of it will be spent, but not all of it simultaneously. And this year does include a in-person instruction grant and extended learning opportunity grants for those funds expiring in August of 2022. Our anticipated funded ADA is still on a whole harvest for the 1920 school year. So we're at 3,311.36. And our reserves, we are projected second term at the end of this year at 16.35%. This is a table that is a breakdown of what the budget was, what first interim projections were, and what we're projecting now in the second interim. You'll see that there's increases in both federal, other state revenue, a slight uptick in other local revenue, where things like the grant funding from CDPH for the COVID testing center, things like that. More things have come in locally than again were anticipated in July. For the other side of the equation, are expenditures. The second interim, we're anticipating $49.4 million as our total amount of expenditure between unrestricted and restricted funds. One-time funding, had we been able to, with our COVID money, expand further what we're able to pay for. Some of these things include summer school, the rate we pay for summer school, expert duty stipends, supplies for the campuses, and other programs such as the music program coming to the elementaries. Things like this have been able to, taking these one-time funds and trying to follow state mandate of addressing both learning loss mitigation and just maintaining student engagement in programs and trying to set up so that things can circulate from one campus into the next. So music at the elementary to go in the middle school, the Paxton Patterson lab at the middle school to lead into CTE pathways at the high school. Also included in this, capital expenditure on the consent agenda were marquees for health ed, with plans and, pending CDE approval, marquees for the middle school and elementaries. We've been approved and then have had a very hard time, trying to procure more vehicles so that we have vans for the district, so that everything is not tied to needing to have a bus driver if there's, a group small enough that a van or two can take them. Things like that, where thankfully there are years to this, but hopefully some of the supply chain and all of those problems we can work around and improve. Our supplemental and concentration dollars in the LCAP are $9 million, and salary and benefits make it 76.81 total budgeted expenditures, and this is based off of the LCAP and our one-time spending being focused heavily on supplies and services, just so that we're with the LCAP, trying to plan that for 3 years in a year, that we were also trying to bring back students. And not entirely sure how that was going to work and what everything was gonna look like further down the road. So there, we'll be modifications to this a little bit as time goes and, get back into a normal groove, for lack of a better saying.
Can I ask a question real quick, please?
Yes.
76.8, I love seeing that number. But realistic, that's with a lot of one-time money, right?
That is with supplies and services, and some of that is, with one-time money, and then, flowing out of the one-time money, and, we know we have the extra money now, and as the state has progressed into more and more back into a categorical system, things like the universal pre-K, the ELLP, different programs that the state is, trying to continue some of these federal programs under, same general idea, just a different umbrella.
But that number is going to increase next year when we don't have one-time money.
Partially, but we still have most of our extra two, and a lot of our, more than probably 80% of our extra $3. So there's about 12 million there that, that's just a rough number of the one-time money is not going away at the end of this year. Some of it is, but not all of it. There's still years out for most of these pots of money still. And here is a breakdown of the expenditures where we have kind of a yo-yo effect going on between the budget, first interim and then second interim, especially if you look at certificated salaries and classified salaries. Things dip, and that's partially, largely due to the slow start of the school year, where this certificated, where filling peak vacancies that you can move from the certificated salary and benefits down into more of a services. We've had to bring in contractors and some things like that get served to a different place in the budget. This also takes into account for the salary increases that were negotiated for this year going forward, as well as the 1% for next year. Sorry, these are this year's stuff, so that doesn't have a 1% for next year. That's reflected in the multi-year projection. For mostly, you can see that things have, increased on the expenditure side, and a lot of the supplies and services and all of that are, now that we have developed plans for ESSER 3 and ELL and all of those fun things, just trying to use that money as smartly as possible before we end up without still having money at the end of the year that we have to get back, because if we don't use it, we lose it. And, so these are the current year assumptions for the multi-year projection. Unrestricted revenues are still based off the CFF calculator once again. ADA still the whole harmless. And then our restricted funds include, like I said earlier, the ELO and IPI, some of the ESSER 2. But again, do not include all of our ESSER 3, the ADP grant, ELOP, and other funds that, as the year has gone on, the state has announced. Oh, by the way, we would like you guys to do this. Either we haven't been told what the allocation is, or we haven't been awarded those funds. So we've been awarded the funds and a portion of the funds. So what we have a dollar amount that we know we're supposed to get. We haven't actually seen that in the, good old bank account. And, these this is, my, assumptions for the years going forward. ADA, this year, it's trying to follow what the whole premise was, is, between quarantines and everything else. For students, our ADA is hovering around 89–90% overall at this point. We'll have a better handle on that next month. I think P2 is due April 15th. Or, well, ideally, P2 is done April 15th. It's technically due the 26th, so that gives us time to get information. Stepping column increases vary from 3.8 to 3.38 to 3.85% each year. This is trying to take into account step and column movements for staff, as well as make adjustments for retirements and departures from the district. Folks like Mr. Plumman and Lula that, are one end of the salary schedule where their replacement comes in and they be, capped at step 11, I think. So off the top of my head, I don't have it in front of me, but, trying to make that adjustment with, the information I had available at the time of doing this. And, naturally, it's helpful to, have March 15th cutoff also due to turn this report in as for non-real and all of that stuff. So, one of those fantastic tiny things of trying to make a projection. It does include a CPI based off of School Services of California Start Board, as well as projected increases in employee pensions, so our SKUSD and PERS. Right now, federal categorical funding is projected flat because I am not entirely sure. I'm sure there will be an increase, but don't want to be overly optimistic in what that increase would be, and then, paint a rosier picture than what the reality is. And then IPI and ELL funding was for 1 year only. And then SR2 and SR3 will be, used in the next, partially this year, and then over the course of the next 2 years. And these are our other fund balances. Okay. That's it. All right, here's the multi-year projection for the next 3 years, sorry. Where we're looking at 16.3% this year, up to 27.16, and then 23-24 year over the next several reports over the next year of budget in terms. These numbers will change as you notice them change over time. And now, sorry, getting ahead of myself, the other funds. Largely unchanged since first interim. The only major difference is Fund 35 currently is projected to end with $7.2 million. This is due to the refund from LPSC on the completion of the Resignations elementary school project. So right now, until further work is done, designing and developing and hiring contractors and all of that fun stuff for the high school cafeteria project. This is where we are with all these funds. All right. Yes, yeah. Can you have questions you wanted to?
Is it? I don't know where we are anymore. So, talking about the reserves and percent of the budget that are in reserves.
Mm-hmm.
So the state requires 3%.
Yes.
The board would like to see certainly 10% or in excess of 10%, 12. And what was reported was ending this year at 16.3%, and next year at 23.8%, and the third year out 27.16%. Now, I sent you an email, Robert, and I appreciate your response, asking about how to calculate those reserves.
Mm-hmm.
And when I used the line items you gave me, I got different numbers. So I got for current year 25%.
Were you looking at solely the restricted, or?
You, in your email, you said take line item DE2 and divide it by line B11.
Yes.
And I got significantly different percentages. So did we miscommunicate?
I believe so. Let me pick my computer back up and open
That line B11 is the reserves in dollars. I agree with that. But it's which line is the budget, total budget dollars that I should be using to divide it. Because I try every one of these numbers and I don't come up with the same 16.35.
Well, you're a math teacher, Jim.
I know, that's why I'm asking. And usually I'm just confused about what I need to do here. Ask my students, especially on Monday.
Did you say you came up with a higher percentage?
Yeah.
Hey, that's even better.
And, well, yeah, it's even better, it's just as we prepare to go into the next couple of years, is working with the district on how these funds can be applied for the benefit of everybody.
Benefit of the students.
For the benefit of everybody.
I know.
And we have, clearly we have to be competitive in salary and benefits to be competitive in hiring with the short of teachers.
What I was gonna say, right now, we're short teachers.
So, Jim, it doesn't help that all the SACS reports, all of the, when you go through it in the order,